What up, YouTube? What up? Mmm. This is gonna be the last video. I was gonna try to do three, but I'm not gonna be able to. So, no, I'm not. Dang, what I do with that? So I was shocked. So when the government shut down for almost a month, or a little over almost a month for the month of November, and Trump has removed illegals from housing, Social Security, welfare, food stamps, that a whole bunch, I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of illegals went to Mexico because they couldn't survive without the food stamps. And they said it's too hard here and they wanted to go back home. But another reason why I wanted to go back on EBT as well is the massive amount of fraud that was uncovered. So I'm gonna quickly go through that. We're getting straight into it because I gotta get up for the work. I was off all last week. A beautiful thing. But I gotta get up early in the morning. But y'all like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Shout out to my new subscribers. We are gonna have a Christmas giveaway. I'm gonna do I don't know, maybe one to four people, even though I don't celebrate pagan holidays. But anybody that does, that's fine as well. No judgment here. All right, let's get right off into this thing. So I'm going straight to the videos, like I said, and I had to get a whole lot um off of there because they was, oh, we ain't going back to no recap. Okay, so now we just gonna amount of fraud that was uncovered. I was like blown away. Why is it doing this? Damn, I just got seen a video. Hold on, let me this Venezuela. Oh fuck, I don't understand. Open, open. Fuck it, we won't play that one. Anyway, so Robert F. Kennedy, he exposes that 45% of Afghanistan immigrants, see, they don't need shit. We can't go to their country and get anything. 45% of Afghan immigrants receive food stamps. 42% of them damn Somalians that committed them billions of fraud in Minnesota need to get the fuck out. 42, 42% of them get food stamps. 34% immigrants from Haiti. 23% are Haitians. So a total of all 59% of illegal aliens receive them. So we dealing with the fraud first.
So what does the waste, fraud, and abuse look like in SNAP? Let me show you. So this was actually this year, August 26th. Chicago grocery store owner sentenced to 3.5 years in prison for fraudulently SNAP and WIC benefits. What you say? Bringing millions of dollars in benefit under the Southern Nutrition System. Guys, this is the fraud. Let's look at this person's name. You see that name? Line. And on Chicago's southwest side. So from 2011 to 2019, Al Hawa fraud redeemed or cause to redeem SNAP and WIC benefits for non-eligible items or cash, and redeem SNAP and WIC benefits on behalf of stores ineligible to participate in SNAP and WIC. He admitted in a plea agreement with the government he caused the loss of these programs of more than 8.3 million.
Damn.
He pled guilty to fraud and tax charges. That's the waste, fraud, and abuse of them to protect. This waste is not trying to allow. And Congress is trying to back in. 8.3 million could have helped so many American families that actually need it. But this person, Yusuf Abu Al-Hawa, decided to literally defraud government and defraud and wake up of $1 million in Chicago. Have you heard Pritzker about that?
Hell no.
You haven't, because they don't care. And this literally just happened on August 26th, 2025. You should go, because they what we're about. A Mexican grandma who's getting a little bit of SNAP benefits to take care of her family. We're talking about large-scale waste, fraud, and abuse that is occurring in the SNAP program that needs that. So actual people who need it can have access to those funds, and it's going to be scammers like this guy. So what does the waste, fraud, and abuse look like in SNAP?
Well, I have to agree with what this guy had to say. I had to agree with
I'm
him.
gonna say this, and I'm gonna say it one time. A lot of motherfuckers thinking it, but they ain't gonna say it. Listen here, I don't give a fuck about y'all losing y'all food stamp. I'm 25 with no motherfucking kids. I get up at 6 o'clock to go to work, and at the end of the work, I go coach kids. It's just not hard for you motherfuckers out here with kids. It's hard for us too. And no fucking way do I want my hard-earned tax money going towards you and your 9 fucking kids just because you couldn't get off your fucking back and go get a job or tell a motherfucker to wear a car. So no, I do not give a fuck because you're losing your benefits. Bitch, get off your ass, go get a job, do what the fuck you gotta do to raise your fucking kid because you fucking had them. I'm not paying for your fucking kids anymore. I don't give a fuck about that. Them kids can fucking starve. If you don't care enough to get off your ass and go feed them, why the fuck should my tax money have to do it? The using and abusing of the system is over. Because us motherfuckers who can't get SNAP benefits or free medical, bitch, we still gotta make a way. So if they've been saying fuck us for the longest, it's fuck y'all. Tired of motherfuckers getting a free pass and I'm over here busting my ass without no help. Bitch, you can do the same. Sorry you made poor life choice. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna say it one time.
Well, and that's how people feel. Oh shit, hit the wrong button. That is exactly how people feel.
We have a deal. We just wanted an extension. And the reason we wanted an extension is because you can't make...
Now, you know what? I ain't even playing this. You're going to go ahead and delete that. Now, this what fucked me up. And then I'm going to get to them illegals leaving here because they ain't got ain't no help.
And the Democrats will continue to abuse it. They sued the USDA for asking them, simply ask too many illegal aliens are on the road in New York and these other states. They sued them. You need to take account of what people are doing here in each party. The leaders and the President of the United States, we are trying to get government to work more efficiently and effectively for the people. And we are getting stopped and hindered by political games by Democrats. And that's why we're so frustrated. And the Democrats will continue to abuse it. They sued the USDA for asking them.
How many illegals is on the books? Now I know this to be true.
I've seen sell food stamps to get their hair done, nails done, their toes done, buying out to go to the club, drugs, a lot. If I've seen it, other people seen it. You know what? That's why people don't give drugs. I've seen people when the new man got down the food stamp was for kids. The man has the food stamp card and he goes, people say drugs. You know, some kids go to school and get breakfast and lunch, no dinner because I sold the food stamps for shit that she wanted. Dumb people don't give two fucks. And people are saying, well, what about my kids? Well, yeah, what about your kids when you had the food stamps, you out there selling them? What did you think about your children then? The fucked up shit that people do, people see that. So now people like, I don't care. Life is about to solve life for a lot of people. But don't get mad when people don't give two fucks. Because we see so many people out there using that shit. Like, oh, shit. You know, what about kids? What about kids? When you was there doing fucked up shit with them food stamps, what about your kids think? You know how many people I've seen sell food stamps to get their hair done, nails done, their toes done, buy an outfit to go to the club, drugs? A lot. If I've seen it, other people seen it.
Wow. Wow.
2 million people losing their SNAP benefits come November 1st.
Okay, no, we ain't
And then when I
playing this.
look at the numbers of the amount.
Nope, nope, nope. We ain't gonna play that video. But no, we ain't gonna play that. Okay, we dealing with the fraud part first. Then I'm gonna get to them.
Shutdown is that um, the Trump administration correctly does not want to send massive amounts of like states, or in all the states really, um, and so
We don't want to
and
fund the
Democrats
illegals.
want to keep the money spigot going to incent illegal immigrants to come into the U.S. who will vote for them. That's the crux of the battle. Higher basis of the government is that the correctly does not want hundreds of billions of dollars to fund illegal immigrants in the blue states, or in all the states really, and so and Democrats want to keep the money spigot going to incent illegal immigrants to come into the U.S. who will vote for them.
Fact.
That's the crux.
That's it right there. We only this. So the new Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins has officially banned illegal aliens from receiving SNAP and food stamp benefits following Trump's orders. Do you support this? Yes or no? Hell yeah, I do. I sure the hell do. This is the fraud portion. Then I'm about to show y'all these illegals leaving. Okay, here we go.
February 13th is we sent letters to every governor in America being very clear that no illegal aliens can use SNAP. Zero, zero, zero. Yes, every for the first time in history, this was February, send and let us with through this data to better understand how this explosion of SNAP benefits happened under Joe Biden. We increased almost 40% on this program in just a couple of years under the Biden administration. Of course, that's a conversation for another time. And since we've asked for that data, 29 states have complied. Of course, almost all the red states, a couple of the couple blue states too. But in that data, I haven't talked about this yet publicly. Now we have found about $100 billion in spend. We have found thousands and thousands of illegal use of the EBT card. We have been moving people, almost 700,000 people. I think we moved off just since the president took office.
700,000 illegals.
People. So this has been ongoing, but to your point, what this conversation has allowed is a national spotlight on a broken and corrupt program. We found one guy in 6 different states getting a benefit. We found about 5,000 people who are still getting benefits. Like, it is time to drastically reform this program so that we can make sure that those who are truly needy, truly vulnerable, getting what they need, and the rest of the corruption goes away. We can serve the American taxpayer. They want to investigate February 13th.
Okay, now we get into the good part. I think that's it for the fraud part. Oh, nope, nope, nope. One more.
Have y'all heard about this? Did y'all know that this was going on? 700,000 ineligible people have been removed from the SNAP program. Did y'all know about this? And the reason why they were able to do this in the first place is because a few states gave up information. Go ahead, but then you got about 21 different states that aren't giving up information. California being one of them. One of the data so folks can go in there and see all the fraudulent BS that's been going on and all of the ineligible people that are on these programs. They found 700,000 people, and a lot of them were deceased.
Yep.
Dead, not even alive anymore.
Yep.
But yet folks was receiving the snap for them.
5,000 was
Crazy.
dead.
Why are they talking about this on the news? When they're up, they shut down and all this stuff that's coming and all that. Why are they doing this stuff? Because it's new that, you know, they were finding out illegals, undocumented people, and deceased people were receiving snap. I bet you a lot of people would be like, hold up, pump the brakes. It's time to do an audit. Let's go in and clean all this shit out. And then we
Facts.
can start rolling it out again. Because if they do that, there's some out here that are getting a minimal amount. If they go in and clean out all that dead weight that's holding the snap and all that shit back, these just receiving benefits, bro, it's gonna be a lot of families out here that's gonna be feasting, eating a lot of food because snap will be able to give them a lot more. There's families out here don't deserve or don't need the snap getting $4,000 a month on snap. With 4 to 5 people in their family. That shit crazy to me. So yeah, man, this is wild, right? And it sheds light. A lot of goings on that the Democrats was doing. Yeah, man, and it shows like are so like gun ho over the fucking illegal shit. Like, goddamn, they're like, bro, they gotta go and audit and do an investigation. Straight up, Democrats.
Facts. They don't deserve shit. I'm sorry. You illegal. You are not a citizen.
No wonder some people have been reporting that they have not been able to use their EBT card, or if they try to use it, it said the funds are not available because some damn USDA federal employee has just been charged with over $66 million in food stamp fraud, with 5 other federal with over $66 million of food stamp fraud. And if she's a black woman who got caught doing this, I just go, God damn it. Alyssa Davis has apparently been doing this for quite some time. I mean, to get caught doing $66 million food stamp fraud with only 5 other people helping you out, that's got to be some kind of, like, either other people are just looking the other way and letting you do it, or you just were that dumb, but somebody just get you until now. You get caught as soon as Trump gets in office and people start looking at shit. If Kamala Harris had won, she would have never got caught.
Facts.
Never got caught. The mere fact that Donald Trump won and then appoint Doge to start looking at investigating fraud, the only way this shit got caught. If Kamala Harris was around, she would be scot-free.
Facts.
Still scamming the system out of millions of dollars in food stamps. It's just like, oh my God, yo. Alyssa Davis, as one of the members of the black delegation, I have to say that we do not condone.
I'll be those feelings in the comments.
No wonder some people have been reporting that they have not been able to.
66 million in food stamp fraud. What the fuck? What she do with that? Was she shit selling them? What the fuck?
So the more migrants that show up, the bigger the reimbursement checks. That cash fills state budget gaps, funds political pet projects, and helps grow dependent voter base. All while the Rogan that when Trump's bill covering 1.6 trillion in these reimbursements, it's panicked because their hidden slush fund just disappeared. Without that stream, they can't pay for programs or the migrants they attracted.
And by the way, all this is true. We'll see a few videos on this too in this show.
I like him.
Recipients get $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 in SNAP benefits every month, and they sell them for cash. They'll sell them to bodegas, and the bodegas then use the SNAP to buy food that they can sell as plates, barbecue plates, plates. But the people who get the benefit, they sell them for cash, and then they use that cash as personal fund. That's how they pay for the weed, for alcohol, for their cars, for their nails, their lashes, for their nights out, for their vacation. This is their fun money that they know they won't have. They're not using this money to pay for food. They're using this money to pay for all those extras in life, those luxuries in life.
So the more migrants that show up, the bigger the reimbursement checks. That cash fills state budget gaps, funds political pet projects.
Now this
and
the
helps
part
grow
here.
dependent voter base.
Now this the illegals leaving. They make sure Okay, yeah, we're gonna get to this part. This the illegals leaving, cause guess what? They ain't got no more food stamps or housing or anything like that. So let's get into that. Let me delete all this stuff. I'm not gonna show this because I gotta go to bed. Shit. All right, first one.
So the more because everything is very difficult right now. Yes, we are struggling a little bit.
The line of motorists who arrived this morning in search of food at the food bank in Francis, in South Los Angeles.
Migrants are deserting the main democratic cities in the United States. The total suspension of federal stamp and card programs for immigrants has triggered a wave of mass exoduses. The dream is over. Honduras is already going backwards. We
want to return to our country. We went to a deal would not give us, and things are not right. We have to return to our country.
Keep asking help where there is none. We no longer receive free food. A group of families on the streets of Chicago, where lines in front of food banks stretch for blocks only to find empty shelves. There is not enough food here because some of those who come by car pass by and there is nothing left. The federal government's decision to abruptly cut aid is coming to an end. A budget that exceeded 10. Now, with food stamps being cut, I have gone a month and a bit without groceries in my house. Homeland Security confirmed a card program that distributes electronic vouchers equivalent to up to $1,000 per month per household has expired in cities like New York, Los Angeles, and Denver, where migrant populations make up 1% of residents. We haven't seen the worst of it yet, I think. So by the end of the month, many people will be here at the food bank to pick up their food. The impact is devastating. Recipients who previously had access to rations of free groceries, including rice, beans, powdered milk, and donated warm clothing, are now facing the reality of a collapsed system. Food banks operated by organizations like Fearing America are reporting a 400% increase in demand since the shutdown, lines lasting up to 12 hours a day. However, inventories are running out in a matter of minutes, leaving entire families without options.
This closure is creating a humanitarian emergency because we are talking about life's essentials such as food.
Migrants will have abandoned their temporary residences in democratic states, opting to voluntarily return import raids intensify. Said goodbye to her partner of more than 30 years to leave for Mexico. My life went down the drain. The fear of winter is palpable with temperatures that could drop minus 10 degrees Celsius in the Midwest and heavy snowfall in the Northwest. The lack of warm clothing and caloric foods is a mortal threat. In Denver, where the first frosts are already being reported, groups of migrants have begun publicly demanding emergency supplies. We need food for the coming cold. These demands.
We don't owe you shit. You ain't paid shit in the system. We don't owe you shit. We can't come to your country and get anything. Stay home and make your own damn country better. Shit.
Which have escalated into spontaneous protests for the dependency by years of unconditional subsidies. Part of this exodus is so-called caravan of return, a spontaneous movement that has united more than 10,000 migrants in a massive herd from Chicago to the south.
As soon, as they couldn't get no food stamps, they went back to the southern border to go the fuck back home. Ain't that a bitch? So that means you weren't working and doing anything. That is for American citizens, not illegals.
Foot and in makeshift vehicles, bound for Laredo, Texas, to cross back into Mexico. Now, it says he will return to his native Honduras.
No, not anymore. They've already lost the desire to go to the United States. Why do you go there?
In folders, many of them form shelter drawing families from Milwaukee and Detroit. There is no future here without government help, said an organizer, who reveals that alternative routes include
include buses chartered by Mexican NGOs to Mexico City in isolated cases. These operations, which transport some 2,000 migrants, are based on bilateral agreements projecting a flow of up to 100,000 air returns by March 2026. Thousands of people are no longer trying to fix the United States. They think that perhaps that dream can be found in Chile or Spain or Argentina, or perhaps that they can start new lives in Venezuela. For 15% of the local budget. Local residents claim that many of these individuals, accustomed to receiving complete packages of food and clothing without work in return, have lost the motivation to integrate into the job market. They get to these free food every month, and now they would rather beg streets than work. We have a lot of senior citizens here, a lot of them, and there are also a lot of people with disability. So they deem that SNAP is simply not enough, and especially now that it is going to be cut off completely, they are going to depend on it even more and get as much food as possible. An additional layer of controversy arises from resale practices. Migrants would receive weekly batches of groceries equivalent to $500 in market value and resell
Ain't
them
that a
in
bitch?
markets for up to 70% of their price.
And then they get it and resell it. Ain't that a bitch?
Economic desperation drives another alarming phenomenon. The mass auctioning of belongings. Migrants organize around to auction their meager possessions. Signature, alliances, and equals purchase assistance cards to raise funds for the return trip, all with the urgency to liquidate them before passportation. ICE sources warn that any transported will be confiscated in removal proceedings, leaving families in ruin upon crossing the border. Everything that doesn't belong to you is left there. They didn't give a chance at anything. No, just as soon as they grab you, you're out. In El Paso, a black market for bus tickets has emerged with prices tripling for seats to Tijuana, where 50,000 migrants are expected to arrive in the next weeks, overwhelmed Mexico. Meanwhile, American society reacts with a mix of relief and resentment. 60% of residents in democratic states approve of the end of debit cards, recalling how migrant families with 5 or more children accumulated up to $1,500 per month, exceeding the local minimum wage. We pay taxes so that they can live better than many native workers.
Facts. That part.
Statements collected in Detroit, where anti-immigrant protests have blocked access to food banks, are read. Here today to look for this, and we will see later how it is done. How we are going to solve with donations.
That part. That part. I'm supposed to feel sorry for you. I don't. I sure on the fuck don't. So they leaving because they can't eat.
Migrants that
She
show
says,
up,
no, I'd rather not live like this and go back to my country.
That, on an economic level, as a family.
Wait a minute. Let me
So the more migrants that show up, the bigger the reimbursement checks. That cash fills state budget gap. So the more migrants that show up.
Okay, let me close that out. Okay, here we go.
She says, no, I'd rather not live like this and go back to my country.
On an economic level, it affects us as a family because I have 2 children. It's hard for me.
With a broken voice, Hero recounts her odyssey to get food. No.
Now, she said if I would have known that she wasn't going to be able to get all this, she wouldn't have come. Ain't no ask you to come no damn way.
Even the dead were receiving IBT aid from the government. The American dream is turning into a nightmare for thousands of illegal immigrants who, fed up hunger and without free government aid, are beginning to flee the United States en masse. For the first time in decades, more are leaving country than arriving. And more than 1.5 million have chosen to leave the country. The new shifts in policies had brutal that for years kept this wave of parasites from moving a finger have been cut off.
Griselda, who went to look for one of these markets, hopes to make it last as long as possible. There are 4 of us adults and 2 children. Yes.
I hope for everyone. Now, with empty stomachs and shattered hopes, They are running back to their countries or crowding into democratic states that are still holding out. But even they told me a few more days, but Maria said she keeps checking her EBT card. Never this time to arrive. That's why she turned to this food bank to help her survive this week. Everything exploded a few weeks ago when the United States Department of Agriculture froze payments for the SNAP program, the famous food stamp program that distributed free food to illegal immigrants and their large families. They are still stuck at Department of Agriculture where they could not pay SNAP during the government shutdown. Of course, people come because they need their food, because there is always
Wait a
someone who
minute, I
needs
think is this
for
what?
remittances, confesses one of those affected, and Bianca prepares herself deportation government, while others are seeking refuge in democratic states like New York or California, where aid is still
Wait,
available,
let me
although
delete
increasingly
that. I
limited.
think I already
She
just.
says that many Venezuelan tenants have already left. She calls me and says,
Oh,
"You don't know
I
what just
like this
happened to
one.
me." And they left food in the fridge, the trash, furniture, and everything.
A viral video showed dead or deported migrants to collect aid with false identities, exposing a rotten system.
Already left for the other world who are receiving food benefits. People are dead to benefits for years.
Wow.
After the scam was uncovered, the government turned off the tap of benefits and many were left without their business or reason to stay. And another group, people who
They was using American names to give food stamps, dead people names.
are illegally in the United States, who have benefited from the IBT, began to eliminate many of these aids to people, and not only that, these are the consequences that are going to fall. Los Angeles, former beneficiaries now putting cards toward the name that they believe will last forever. In this, ranchers celebrate the departure of those they called invaders, while in Washington, Congress approved cuts that eliminate hundreds of millions in assistance for migrants. Now that they have eliminated food stamps, I have a month and I don't have any groceries in the house. Several Venezuelans with TPS and foreign are selling all their furniture to self-deport before November when their immigration status expires.
Yes, we've had to sell cheaply, almost at a bargain price.
Meanwhile, in Mexico and Central America, governments are preparing for the return. Charter flights from Texas airports are already transporting hundreds weekly. Those who stay face express deportations. AC reported a 60% increase in voluntary removals since the SNAP cutoff. We're not going backwards, Honduras. In my case, I'm going to return to Mexico City again to continue working and see if I can finally return to my country. 2,000 immigrants a year ago, at least 100,000 have crossed back in recent months. And this father was deported to Honduras, leaving his wife and 5 children behind, 4 of them U.S. citizens.
Told me they didn't even need my signature because I was deported. Automatically, this mass exodus marks the end of an era of abuse. The parasites who have become accustomed to the free paradise are now... How many more will be gone before December? The American taxpayer breathes a sigh of relief. No more food for resellers. No more...
Showing the fuck do. Sign of relief.
And the collapse of shelters is creating a difficult situation in Boston, where hundreds of migrants are sleeping...
Wait, what time is it? I'm gonna do one more. And then I'll get back to this later. Because it's gonna be more and more leaving.
And the collapse of shelters is creating a difficult situation in Boston, where hundreds of migrants are sleeping on the floor of the international airport.
Hundreds of migrants have spent here, and as you can see, some of them are packing up their because they ask for a lot of people to rent stuff, and my husband's in a job because we don't have a permit yet. The federal government of the United States has begun a massive deportation operation that has emptied more than 50 shelters and freed 300 hotels from undocumented migrants. What does it mean to get out of the report? Wow, a huge responsibility right now to have a stable job to be able to pay the next rent, the utilities, and all those things. Opportunities have a time, right? We've been given time to evolve and do something with our lives too. The magnitude of the event extends from the border states to the interior cities with coordinated raids that have closed shelters in Texas, Arizona, California, and New Mexico. Hundreds of migrants began to be expelled to Mexico in large groups. Buses were arriving all day to drop off expelled migrants, including Liliana. It's no end. Federal authorities report that thousands of people have been relocated to temporary military camps or detention centers, while convoys of buses and planes transport them back to Mexico. A place where we can go while we wait for the process we are going through. So, the option they are giving us is to come here to the airport and stay. This measure, framed as a decisive response to the overload of public resources, marks a turning point in immigration policy, with projections indicating that at least 500,000 individuals will be expelled before the end of the year. So at 10 at night, they kicked us out because they took the girl out without clothes and left her outside where we could not enter without authorization. The first closure took place on Monday morning at the Catholic Charities shelter. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents swooped in at dawn, backed by local border patrol units, and conducted a meticulous sweep. Families who had crossed the desert weeks before were separated in a matter of hours.
The flow continues, with nearly 1,000 people apprehended.
In Arizona, PY County has closed 2 of its main shelters, citing a lack of demand due to strict border measures implemented since January as justification for reallocating space. Glider Silo no longer lives in a shelter, but says finding a job has been difficult. I'm not going to ask for a job. That's what they tell you. It's about the papers, and if you don't have papers, how are you going to support a home? In San Diego, California, the shelter operated by Jewish Family Service has closed its doors entirely, citing a total lack of arrivals since the president's inauguration. The closures are part of a wave affecting more than 50 facilities across the Southwest, with 300 hotels returned to normal business.
Oh, that shit done put me to sleep. Shit. Let me see.
We leave with no desire to leave.
The pressure we feel is so great.
Wait a minute. She from Venezuela.
We want to leave and start over in another country.
We want to leave and start all over in another country.
For anyone, not just Venezuelans. In a dramatic turn of events that is redefining the demographic map of South Florida, thousands of Venezuelans are leaving the United States en masse in what is now known as the reverse exodus.
Those people who are asking me how I managed to get from the United States to Mexico. I left from Chicago, Atlanta. From here in Dallas, I'm going to make another stop, and that is where I'm going to the border, God willing.
What began as a widespread fear of immigration raids has turned into an organized stampede, with entire communities dissolving in the face of the imminent expiration of temporary protected status. It's simple. We do not want migration from countries that we do not trust to subdue their travelers, President Trump said when announcing the measure. Federal authorities estimate that at least 60,000 Venezuelans have opted for self-deportation, selling possessions at bargain prices and forming caravans to South America.
And they ain't gonna do shit in Mexico, don't want them.
Revocation of benefits to force voluntary.
Cause the thing is, Mexicans don't like Venezuelans at all.
In the United States, internal sources at the Department of Homeland Security revealed that the government has accelerated the revocation of benefits to force voluntary departure. Temporary visas, food stamps, SNAP, and stats for more than 2. This measure, signed in secret by President Trump, seeks to reduce the tax burden and prioritize loyal taxpayers.
They are not denigrating people for, like, being Venezuelan is a crime, right? You know? I mean, it's not our fault that the government has not gotten along very well with the government of Cuba.
By November 2026, it is expected that 80% of TPS beneficiaries will be exposed to forced deportations, which will drive a second wave of mass departures in Doral, a city that once housed more than 27,000 Venezuelans, representing 40% of its population. The urban landscape has changed radically. Streets that used to be teeming with a Caracas accent are now desolate, with empty shops and for sale signs on every corner. Yes, we have had to sell cheaply, almost at a bargain price, in order to capitalize. Dorzuela, as it was known by its improvised Caracas leaders, has become a ghost of its former glory.
Alright.
These Venezuelan cities emerged in the 2010s as cultural havens, where families reconstructed homes
Oh shit, I'm
lost in the
trying to
Maduro
turn
crisis.
this shit off. I'm gonna delete that one. Okay, we talked about the 5,000 dead people. Yep, we finished this up. Damn, I got this twice. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, y'all. Good night. And shout out to my new subscribers.